one. Welcome back to Independent Showcase on the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. And well, you can see by my guest now, looks can be deceiving, folks. I will say that because you may look at this guy and think he's got plaster on his head, he's got plaster on his shoulders, he's battered, he's bruised, he must have lost. No, he is the inaugural CCP champion. It is Mr. Dallas Dash. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Uh, Nice to be here, man. Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you for coming on. Listen, you come on 24 hours after going through what was a war last night when
Yeah.
Legends Rise for CCP and the crews there. But first things first, and this is going to sound a really stupid question by looking at you, but how are you feeling?
Oh man, I am beat up, man. I definitely felt the effects of just going through the tournament. Just the preparation for the tournament. Uh, just getting my conditioning up, cardio, everything. But didn't know what to expect, and walking out. I felt every single bump, bruise, everything. It's crazy because my fiance, she was just counting all the bruises, and I'm like, bro, this is crazy. Oh,
Obviously, look, it was a tremendous night. It was a tremendous show. Again, I've watched it. You can see it on YouTube, guys. If you go to the CCP podcasting YouTube page, it is there. Chapter 4. I'll put the link. Actually, I'll put the link in the description so people can go and check out what was a great, as you mentioned, tournament. So here's the thing, guys. Dallas didn't just go through one match to win the championship. No, no, no. He went through three people to go through that. And you come out in the main event, you could barely walk for a start. There was an opportunity. Well, there was a bit there where the referee was even saying, "Are you ready? Can you do this?" I mean, when you said about the preparation and the cardio and everything you go through, did you have to increase that because knowing that you're potentially going to be in 3 matches? Do you have to
yeah.
increase that cardio before maybe like the week or so before the event?
Yeah, training was definitely big for me going into this tournament. Just outside, running with my mom. We did a lot of calisthenics and just movements of the legs and the lower body, and it sucked for sure. But going in the tournament, I was definitely prepared the right way. Um, you know, like I said, training just got me so much ready for just that moment. Unfortunately for me, yeah, the upper body they had other plans. That's something that I worked on, but didn't get the full outcome of going through the tournament, not knowing how what they were gonna do with me. So yeah, it definitely affected me, but it also turned out good. So
Well, it certainly did because you obviously held up the gold at the end to win it. I must admit though, because this is something that people don't, independent from an independent base, it's very rare that you
yeah,
get 3 matches in one night as a tournament. Normally, the tournaments go over a period of shows with especially on the
yeah,
independents necessarily. The guys in the, maybe the WWE and AEW, even them guys, they struggle to hit that 3 match, you know, in one night. I mean, King of the Ring maybe when they used to do that, and I know
yeah.
that's still a thing that WWE do nowadays. But how do you mentally prepare for potentially 3 matches in a night?
I did a lot of thinking, like just mentally trying to prepare my mind for that. Because, like I said, I didn't even think I was gonna get that far in the tournament. Me going first round through Skrilla the Great, and then having to go against Khan under the condition that I was. I didn't think I was gonna be able to make it to the final. So it definitely, like I said, mentally, I tried to prepare myself for anything. But that just came with just meditation, talking to the people that I love the most, just getting my mind right, getting my mind in a positive mindset to go out there and do what I do.
And you done it very well because, like we keep saying, you won it, which is the main thing. Now,
Yeah.
you won it with a shooting star press that I saw. Now,
Uh,
that moment that like you hit that, the referee's hands going down, we get one, you get two, and you hear that three. How quickly did it sink in from that moment, from the free count to like you realizing you'd actually won the championship?
It's so crazy because I thought that was the dumbest move I ever could have made with my ribs being under the condition that they were in. To do a shooting star, it took everything in me to pull that off. But when I hit it and you know the referee counted 1, 2, 3, it didn't really sink in until you know Chris laid the belt out in front of me, and I just looked at it, and it just was a moment of just all of the hard work that I put in over these 12 plus years that I've been doing this. And just you know taking it all in, but you know just thinking back to you know my story, birth, how I came up and was raised, from my family, my friends to my fans, everybody that's had a or played a part in my role of becoming the Ranger Dallas Dash. Everything sunk in when that belt laid in front of me, and yeah,
I can
that was a pretty cool moment.
I could imagine it does. And look, the other thing to remember is people can maybe claim that championship later on, but what they can't claim is being the inaugural champion, the first ever. You can never take that away. But what does it mean to you personally to become a champion?
It's special, man. I just posted on my page on Instagram, and I told myself, like I always tell myself, that I never mix up the difference between, you know, the wrestling world and real life. But I kind of was a kid in that moment, man. Because being is one thing, like you said, it's one thing to be a champ, but to be acknowledged as the first ever, like that's pretty cool, man. It's good that, you know, somebody believed in me enough to, you know, give me the opportunity to become first ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That is a real one, and I know that because we talked before, and I mentioned that we also have a championship over here in the UK on the Brit wrestling scene, and we had to crown that turnbuckle champion, and it was at the time it was the guy called Smashing Mike. He was the people's champion. He was the really the one that the fans got behind, but never really won that. Never really had a championship at Ignite at that point. But he was the most. The fans would come to see him, and I still remember to this day when when he won the championship in the triple threat match. He didn't have to go through what you did, but he had to go through a triple threat match, and pretty much like when you had that free, that the roar from the crowd was unbelievable, like it was last night, and it was a case for
yeah.
when Mike won it as well. Wish he was the champion now because our champion right now is a complete arsehole. So that's a real shame that we've got to move on with him, but from CCP and from Chris, Chris always for me comes across like a guy that we both had this common, I suppose, synergy, which was, we really love independent wrestling and we really want to. It's really weird about saying giving back because I've tried to be a wrestler, it never worked out. I didn't have that. I was never the guy that could do the stuff that you guys can do. And but me and Chris seem to have that same passion, and that's really about the independent wrestling. And I've never met him in person, but does Chris come across that way? Does he have that passion that it looks like he has when I was talking to him?
Yeah, man, CP changed my life. It was a point of time where I honestly didn't know if I wanted to continue my wrestling career, and he kind of swooped me up and was like, "Hey, you know, you can do this, and not only can you do this, but you can do it on the highest levels. It's all about you know whose eyes is on you." So you know, he gave me an opportunity back last year in November to compete at Chapter One, and ever since then we kind of took off. And his mindset, his wrestling royalty, and his genius mind on just you know the industry is crazy. And he wants the best for everybody. He motivates people, even you know with the podcasting, just the family that we have. Like he's real big on energy, man, and he has a lot of it. Trust me, he has too much of it sometimes. And I be yeah, no, I be wanting to give him a knuckle hamburger, but he's definitely a creative mindset. He put that whole tournament together, and that dude right there is really really special to me, man.
Yeah, he's a great say. I've only had the privilege of speaking to him once, and I think I'm actually on the same thing you was Beyond the Bell. I think that'll be on the CCP podcast in YouTube. He'll be coming on my show very soon to talk about this and that whole night as well. So I'm looking forward to having him back. But tell us a little bit about your story then, Dallas, because you've mentioned it there. You've had this story. You've been wrestling a while. You kind of,
Yeah.
maybe like a confidence thing. Chris scooped you up and gave you that opportunity. But what was the story like pre CCP then?
Pre CCP, I'll give you a quick brief. At birth, At birth, I was born with seven major surgeries, man. Brain
Mhm.
tumor surgery, open heart surgery, three hernia removals, and I got a shunt, which is right here. And
Okay.
it's basically like a long tube that goes from your head all the way down to your stomach. I still live with it to this day. It basically pumps fluid in me in order for me to function. And yeah, for the longest time, a lot of doctors told me that I wasn't gonna be able to play physical contact sports and do the things that I actually wanted to do as a kid and walk talk properly and all that good. And then I wanted to do everything. Once I hit that mark of when I got older, around like 8 years old, my dad he became a professional wrestler, and I used to go to all his trainings, all his shows, travel with him, and I basically fell in love with it, and that's when I kind of got into wrestling, WWE, AEW. I mean not AEW, but Ring of Honor around that time.
Mhm.
But and then I didn't start getting really into the indie scene until like 16, maybe. 18, I had my license because I'm originally from Virginia.
Mhm.
So I got my wrestling license, and ever since then it kind of took off. I did my first big show in Memphis, Tennessee. Wrestled on some of the cards with guys like Alberto Del Rio, Chris Masters, Austin Aries, EC3. And then I started to make my way like down south more. So Florida, Georgia, Bama, Arkansas, Tennessee. And then around like 20, that's when I went up north, and I worked for a promotion. My dad, he had started his own promotion, so I started to get real heavy into that. Did a couple things over there, helped a couple other guys out, younger guys that just coming up. And around last year was when I parted ways with my dad. I came to here to Georgia, and that's when CP gave me the call. He was like, "Hey, we looking for a talent, and I want you to be." Here with us. And I said, hey, let's do it. So before CCP, man, I did a lot of things that a lot of people, in the industry dream about doing. And I'm just fortunate and grateful enough to have those opportunities to go showcase and, put my name out there and, do this at some of the highest levels. So,
That is an incredible story. My son's well, not 7. He's not had a major surgery, but very
yeah,
similar in. So when he was born, he was like 2 months premature, and
yeah,
he got 2 days into that. So he nearly died when they had to bring him out to or bring him into the world. And then 2 days later, he had a what they call a pneumothorax in the lung. So the lung wasn't mature enough to pump around the water and the air that goes around it. So they had to put him in an
yeah,
induced coma. They had to deflate the lung, reflate it, drain it, sorry, reflate it, pump. It gave him some of this shot that matures everything really, really quickly. And they told us they think that he might not be here. They told us that he may be behind, he may not be able to play sports, he may have cerebral palsy, and thankfully, nothing happened, and he's just, well, not say normal, but in terms of like everything they said he could have had, he never got, thankfully. And you wouldn't know it now that he's so early because of, and he loves soccer. He loves playing soccer and darts, funnily enough.
so,
Darts seems to be the in thing at the minute. So I spend a lot of my weekends either watching him play or getting beat by him on the dartboard. So it's kind of a, but in terms of, I mean, that was a warrior start from you. I mean, you went through an absolute, well, you went through death in a lot of ways without being,
yeah, man.
without the physical, without it literally happening. So there's an incredible,
Yeah,
you won a battle before you even started the war in a lot of ways as a
right.
professional wrestler. So kudos to you, man. And I'm grateful that you're here and doing everything that you're doing as well. It's an amazing feat for someone that's gone through so much to be doing this And because this isn't,
Yeah.
to quote Taz, this isn't ballet, what you guys do. And it's
Yeah.
incredible that you can do that. So massive kudos to you
Can
for
I
doing.
can I say one thing?
Yeah.
For anybody that's watching, man, I just wanted to say, uh, don't let nobody tell you that you can't do something that you really want to do,
Mhm.
man. Go out and do it. I know a lot of people say that, but I mean, you looking at a walking testimony right here, man. Like you said, I I passed the death, right? I passed the death, and like I said, I was able to do the things that I wanted to do, and I'm still doing the things that I want to do, living out my dreams and doing it on the highest level. So any young kid out here that's going through something, go do it. Go do it. Don't let nobody tell you that you can't do it. Go do it. Go get it.
Exactly. Exactly
Yep.
that. Totally agree with that. Anything is possible for anybody. If you want it hard enough and you put the effort in, like Dallas did, you'll get it. So make sure you go and get it. Right. We'll take a break from that and we'll play a little bit of games now. I love playing. I hear so many,
Uh,
it's great because I get so many different answers. Sometimes it depends on the age of the wrestler that I'm doing it to. Sometimes it doesn't. But okay, so the first question is that everyone has their Mount Rushmore of wrestlers. I'm not going to ask you that.
yeah.
But I'm going to ask you for your Mount Rushmore of wrestling theme songs. So your top four wrestling theme
Theme
songs
song.
are.
Theme songs is crazy. So let me just say, I am 24 years
Yeah.
old. Um, I didn't. Of course, growing up, you have people like Cena,
Yeah.
Taker, Triple H, Batista, Randy. But I recently got into, old school wrestling, NWA, Mid South,
Yeah.
Mid Atlantic, like everything. So yeah, let's do it. Let's get into it. Whew, this is hard, but this is one of my personal favorites. I am a big fan of music. Let's just say that. So this is a great question. My number four would probably have to be Randy Orton. I mean, every single time you hear voices, I mean, you just get into that mode.
Yeah.
I don't know, it puts you in that feel, man. I don't know. It's something dangerous about that song, man. That just it makes you just want to. Yeah. So I'm gonna go voices. Um. Ooh, I'm gonna probably have to go Legion of Doom, the Road
Oh,
Warriors.
wow. Yeah, that's brilliant. Love that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Legion of Doom. Um, what a rush too.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and clear that up. What a rush too.
Yeah.
At two, uh, I'm gonna have to go with. I'll probably go with Taker.
Yep.
I'll go with Taker because I heard so it was one time I went to a show and I heard the gong, man, and that was the scariest thing ever, man. It's literally the scariest thing ever. So I'm gonna go Taker, and then at one, probably go Stone Cold.
Yeah. That is.
Yeah, you hear that glass shatter, you already know who it is. Like you don't even have to. You don't even have to like say, "Hey, who is that?" No, you know when that beer glass breaks, you know exactly who's coming out that curtain. So
Yeah, and you
yeah,
know that somebody's going to get their ass kicked as well. Generally, that's.
yeah, yeah,
Funnily enough, I was talking to we had Matt Cardona on a year or so ago, and he said like the one thing that being in that ring when that gong hits and you see this big six,
yeah,
near 7 foot guy, he
yeah,
said you
man.
cannot beat that feeling being in that ring and just watching him. He said you end up being in a trance watching him. Because obviously it takes him
Yeah,
ages as well to get to the ring, doesn't it? Because of the slow walk and the thing and the hat and everything else. He just said you just can't beat that feeling of him just like walking to the ring. The other one that scares me was Kane's. You know, not the first one,
yeah,
but the second one. I think it's Slow Chemical, the theme, but it used to start with
yeah,
the pyro first, and it used to kill me every time because I never used to expect it. And like you should do, but and sitting right next to it when it goes off is just I wouldn't recommend it if if you're jumpy, don't do it. Is what I would
right,
say.
yeah.
But those are good songs. A lot of people, because we have a lot of the younger wrestlers in the UK, and a lot of people when they say to me Randy Orton, they say "Burning My Light" and not Voices. Interestingly,
Mm,
interesting.
yeah.
It is a good one, but no, I love voices myself. But look, next question is table for free. So people would have seen this on maybe the WWE Network when they had free wrestlers around the table when the WWE Network was a thing, of course. Well, this is your table for free. So who in wrestling, past, present, living, or passed away, doesn't have to be a wrestler, can be a wrestling character. What free would you have around a dinner table?
Ooh, great question. Mm, I'm gonna have to go with Flair.
Yep.
That's one. Um, honestly, I'm gonna go NWA.
Yeah.
Flair, Flair, Dusty, and Harley Race. Like I think that's my three at that table because it's just like I mean it's so much wrestling royalty right there.
Mm,
But also just their mindset on how to win over a world, like not even just a crowd, but like change the world because I feel like they are like the three, and Harley really didn't get the credit that he
mm.
got. I know a lot of people, the people who know wrestling, know Harley Race, but Harley Race is a workhorse, man. Harley Race is a freaking workhorse. So just those three will be on my table. Just to pick their brains on their mindset, of how wrestling was back then and how wrestling should be now. So yeah, those three guys right there probably be
That's
on
an
my table.
incredible free. I actually I spoke with the Harley Race's son because he does a NWA territory World League of Wrestling, and because we're massive fans of NWA here. Funny enough, one of my co-hosts is going to Cedarville to watch Crossfire with the Page sisters next week. Next week, yeah, next week. She's off in next week, so she's going up there. So yeah, we're big fans of she's watched NWA since then and then since Power, and I've come in over the last few years. But yeah, what a free wrestling
That's
minds are those three. Dusty Rose would definitely he would be great. Flair,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, geez, those three would be incredible people to have around the dinner table. If you could have a band play you out at a wrestling show, what band would it be?
Mm, that's dope. Um, so one thing everybody should know, I hate clowns, man. But it's something about the insane clown posse that's just like they're so gravitate, like they're just misfits that just don't care what other people's opinions are, and they are just so free. So I would have to go with the insane clown posse. Like they are like my idols, man. I freaking love them.
That would be. You'd say, is one of them? Does one of them do JCW? Juggalo.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Juggler Championship Wrestling. Yeah,
Yes, he does because he was on NWA a couple of years back. Violent
yeah.
J.
They
That's
they are
Violent.
actually with the brothers of Fun Structure
Yes,
sometimes
Yarbo
in
Ruffer.
NWA. So
Yeah,
yeah,
Yarbo and Ruffer. I miss them on NWA Power.
yeah,
That's
man.
what's going on with them, but they're a shame and wish they'd come back because I do miss the clowns on
Yeah,
NWA.
man.
That's for sure. Final question before we start to move on. Look, if you could have a dream fatal four way, so you in the ring with three wrestlers, it doesn't matter who, it can be the guys in WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, it can be anyone. Who's your three that you're having in there?
All right, so I'll stay current time with this question because it's one of those ones where I dream of now. Like, okay, if
Mm.
if I was to get in a major promotion, this is who I would want to work. We're gonna let's. I want a UK guy. I'm
Mm.
going with Zack Saber Jr.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
I love technical wrestling. Like I,
Mhm.
I, I know I didn't got into the field of high flying, but technical wrestling is like where I kind of trained and started at. So Zack Saber is one of those guys, man, that will push you and take you to those limits as far as picking limbs and breaking down parts and stuff. So Zack Saber, I have to go. Um, at two, I'm gonna go with Shelton Benjamin.
Brilliant.
Yeah, Shelton Benjamin has always been a guy that I watched over the years, and just even now, him still doing it is like a blessing. Like he still got one of the most dangerous super kicks I ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Um, At 3, I'm gonna go with Lance Storm.
Oh, blast from the past. Lance Storm.
Yeah, Lance Storm is like another one of those guys I've been watching for a long time, and it was so crazy. The first match I seen with him was him and Jericho at One Night
Yeah.
Stand, I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
it
yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah.
And that match was crazy. That match was absolutely crazy. One of made me like gravitate towards him a lot more. So those be my 3 right there: Shelton Benjamin, Zack Saber, and yeah, Lance Storm. So
If you like Zack Sabre Jr., there's another guy on the Brit Rest scene. So if you ever, I mean, he comes to America quite a bit, or if you're ever over here, you want to wrestle him.
yeah,
His name is Connor Mills. So
Connor Mills. I
Connor,
heard of that. Yeah,
yeah, he's a man. I tell you, if you ever get an opportunity, if you like technical wrestling, he mixes technical wrestling with strong style, and
yeah.
he's brilliant. So yeah, if you ever get a chance to meet Connor or wrestle Connor, I would really recommend it. Fantastic talent. Anyway, look, we're gonna start to finish up, but before we do, look, wrestling nowadays in America, there's obviously a lot of independent wrestling as well, but there's also a massive amount of promotions now with television time, whether it's YouTube, whether it's on a streaming platform or anywhere else. Is there now a bit more sort of like, when I was growing up, it was like, oh, it's like a 1 in 1,000 chance to make it to potentially a promotion that can really showcase you. Is it more
Yeah.
exciting now on the independent scene because there's NWA, there's TNA, there's AEW, there's WWE, there's MLW that are doing a lot of good stuff, GCW as well. Is it more exciting now because that possibility has may become a bit more, well, the possibility has gone from sort of improbable to slightly a bit more probable now because of the amount of organizations that there are?
Yeah, no, honestly, it is. I tell people all the time, if you're with your promotion, like if you're with the main promotion that you work for every show, stick with them. Stick with them and get the best matches, the best film out of it. Um, Create stories, and some promotion will reach out. They will reach out. It's a lot of opportunities out here now that's just there. And if it doesn't come, it's okay. Wait, and take your time because your story will be so much better. Be so much sweeter in the end when you actually do make it to a big time promotion like that, because you know for a fact that you stay, true and loyal, and you worked for it. Every ounce that you gave to your home promotion is gonna pay off in the end when you wrestle on the big time stage like that. So yeah, it's definitely a blessing to have these promotions out here because they do look, they do watch.
They do indeed. Not a truer word said. Right, as we start to wrap up now, Dallas, tell people where can they find you on social media? What have you got coming up? And if you are available for bookings, where can people reach you?
So right now, currently, I am on tour with CCP. We are doing the collector shows throughout this whole year. Um, so as far as bookings, like I'm still trying to fill the holes. So anybody that's willing to book the Ranger Dallas Dash, you can go find me on Instagram at Dallas X Dash. That's Dallas X Dash, all one thing. I'm also I recently just started a new YouTube, so I'll be having a couple matches and stuff from the previous months. I'll say going back to like December all the way up until now. The tournament, the recent tournament we just did. So just be on the lookout for that. That's also Dallas X Dash. So all the social media platforms that you can reach me on, Dallas X Dash. Yeah, I'm there. I'm right there, and I'm ready to work. I'm willing to give my all to any promotion that I work for. But gotta CCP. That's my home right there. So,
Oh yes, I'm looking forward them to having because I remember I've said to this before. We actually recommended Mims from the NWA to come over to
yeah.
CCP, and he's doing I know he's on a tour with them very very soon, and
Yeah, no,
hopes
he. What's crazy?
yeah.
What's crazy? They just announced the Fatal 4-Way for the World Championship
Mhm.
in May 16th next month at CCP, and Mims is in that Fatal 4-Way, so I get a chance to work with Mims for the first time. So that's gonna be dope.
I was just about to say, I'm looking forward to seeing that one because obviously, yeah, we're saying we're massive fans of the NWA, and every time their talents, I pass so many over to Chris. To, if it works out, it works out. If he doesn't, he can
Yeah.
open some doors. I'm just really glad that he's got managed to get Mims in and open. Mims and Dallas Dash are going to be in action in May. Looking forward to that. But look, before I
Yeah.
wrap up, I need to do a couple of things. Look, our next TNA exclusive has already dropped. It was with Victoria Crawford, formerly Alicia Fox. Go and see that. There's about 20 TNA exclusives down there from Steve Macklin to Eddie Edwards. Just go and have a look at it on our YouTube at HTT Buckle. Big thanks also to Diona Perazzo for coming on recently, but we're not finished with AEW because this week we're going to be interviewing Billy Starks as well. So it's making names for herself in Ring of Honor. She's literally been over here wrestling for Will Ospreay and Dan Reed's Pro Wrestling Eve as well. So keep a lookout on that. And lastly, our show, obviously Ignite, we've got a show. It would have, by the time this goes out, it would have finished, but it's still there. It's Ignite. It's the end game. Funnily enough, we've just had chapter 5. You guys had chapter 3 or 4, whatever it was. We had chapter 5, but the end
Yeah.
game this coming weekend. 5 tickets left at time of recording. They will probably go. Lots of stuff, including our Turnbuckle Championship will be on the line as Chris Aries makes his first defense of the Hitting the Turnbuckle Championship against somebody who was on CCP podcasting very recently in Denzel Mack. So go and check that out. Go and check Dallas out. He's going to be on CCP podcasting, I think, this evening at 5 p.m. Eastern, if I'm not mistaken. So you're going to see him on there. You'll see him on here as well, and follow us at HTT Buckle everywhere. But Dallas, it's been great talking to you. Thanks for taking your time. Look, congratulations again. And as you say, anything is possible, no matter what obstacles are put in front of you. Anyone can knock them down if you have the heart of a warrior, like your good self, my friend. So thank you for joining us, and
Thank
we're
you
looking
so
forward
much.
to seeing you in the future.
Thank you, man. This has been great. Everybody out there, whether if you're a wrestling fan or if you're not a wrestling fan watching this, all love, peace, and thank you.
And from that, everybody, buckle down, stay safe, and good night.